Hello, I'm Jashikins, and welcome to this week's episode of Jash Talks. With me, as always, is my co-host.
Baron Punchy, hello, good day, I am the best.
Bullshit. And the alien expert that we managed to get from the deep land of Texas.
I know stuff.
Okay, this week's episode we're going to be talking about Prometheus, a film which I really enjoy and these two other bastards hate.
I wouldn't say I hate it, I just wish it was never made.
I find it to be a little bit murdery.
Okay, Liz, for all, one of you that has lived life under a rock, the plot of Prometheus is a team of explorers discover a clue to the origins of mankind on Earth, leading them on a journey to the darkest corners of the universe. There, they must fight a terrifying battle to save the future of the human race.
I wouldn't say it's terrifying, I say it was more hilarious. Come on, you saw...
And that's
okay, I'm not
why
sure
I
if
didn't
anyone's seen
let
the bad
you
guys.
the plot.
No, listen. I'm not sure if anyone's actually seen the bad guys in it, but frankly, they just look like albinos. Like giant albinos. And I was like, eh? Is that a scary thing? Is it? Also, I don't know, I didn't see. I couldn't tell. Here's the thing. You know what? I'm gonna let you guys talk because it's all the pain, all the anger. It's gathering up, and I need to pick a weapon first.
Okay,
They looked weird.
I just found the plot a little hard to swallow in how loosely strung together it was to give the backbone behind why they would do a $100 trillion mission to this far corner of... I mean, even though, like, hey, these dots match up exactly with these stars, I'm like, you have any idea how many stars there are out there? Hi, Tara.
I think she disagrees with your opinion,
My
Decker.
cat is a Prometheus fan, it figures.
Damn you bastard! Michael Fassbender was a revelation in that movie.
Shut up, Cthulhu.
Cthulhu? Oh my god, I did the Cthulhu voice in accident. Oh shit.
Yeah, you sound like Creepy's co-host, Cthulhu.
I have become him. I have absorbed his essence and taken it.
Yeah,
That sounded rude.
I mean, the guy who was founding it was dying. It was like, hey, fountain of youth. I have nothing to lose, and I have money and to spare, and who gives a shit about anyone else?
I'm with Decker though. That still doesn't make sense. No one's that desperate to spend that much money, especially someone who's made that much money to do that.
Well,
In all fairness, with that kind of technology, you'd probably make a
living-
robot body, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean,
prospect
if
of
he
living
could find a
forever
way to
is-
live in his natural body without, having to have robots, and it's like, I'm going to die, and he doesn't really seem like a guy who's too concerned with anyone else.
Yeah, but this motherfucker made more money than God. You don't think he can? And he's smart, right? He's smart because he made that much money. Why didn't he just think, I'm a genius. Why don't I put my brain in a robot body until I can find a more suitable way to live forever?
Well, then what's going to happen to his other body, I guess?
Yeah.
Well, it's already fucked. You just get rid of it.
The thing that bothered me
Somehow.
was that he would thaw himself out when they don't have even anything remotely close to a final word on what's going on, when evidently he was able to communicate and run things while frozen, and effectively already immortal at that point.
I think it was, he'd want to move around, but I think he gave really simple, basic, commands, not allowing the others, David and Vickers, to take the majority of control.
Maybe that was it. Maybe that he just maybe his time limit for how long he had left was so small that if he stayed in there long, it wasn't going to make a difference. He wasn't going to get back to Earth. Whatever's out there is his last hope, and if it's not there, he's fucked.
Yeah.
You see, I like these ideas. It's just the problem I have, and I always tend to fall back on, is that sounds really nice. I wish they put it in the movie.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Again.
Is the movie strung together by fan theories?
Yeah, it was. They didn't really, you're right. They didn't really clearly explain all his position, how things were working. So yeah, I do admit it's one of the faults of the movie, of having us have to make the movie ourselves to fill in all these blanks.
Also, I don't care how many times they come up with this idea or how many times they try to do it. I don't like the idea of there being a human progenitor species that are dicks or anything like that. I don't care. Why the hell do we have to be aliens? It doesn't make sense.
Because
Also,
there
if the
is
aliens
no
are physically
God.
superior to us, no, if the aliens are physically superior to us, why do they have to be better? Why do we have to be worse? We evolved from them, right? We should be better. We were
No, the
millions of
thing
years of
is-
evolution and we got shit.
No, the thing is, I think this is sort of answered by the main lady's boyfriend, when he's talking to David, and David asks, "Why did you invent me?" And the guy goes, "Because I could." And I think that's really why the creators did everything, because they could. They weren't trying to make us superior or anything. They were just seeing what
But
would
that's
happen.
bullshit. Okay, here's the thing. You know David, the robot guy? He wasn't invented because they could. No one fucking sat down and said, we should make a robot. Why? Because we can! No, it was cause it's free labour! Something like that. But no, the aliens didn't use it for free labour, just fucked us off to a random planet and left us. That's because we could. We didn't do shit because we could. It doesn't make sense.
I
It
don't know.
was a bullshit one-liner that sounded philosophical but meant ball.
More in the second part, because I actually have a bunch of theories and connections to that one that I want to save for that part.
Bring it.
I was told that, hey, this is the earliest movie in the Alien franchise. It's the Alien prequel. Oh, that's what it was going on before it was released, and then after it was released, is like they never. He said it's not a prequel. It's not a prequel, actually. Stop calling it an Alien prequel because you're.
Okay. I
misjudging
listened
it.
to the commentary the other night, and there was a prequel, not a prequel stuff going on there.
Look, if you're going to make a movie in the setting the world of aliens connecting to it, it's going to be a prequel or some kind of sequel. You can't say not to expect that. Why are you joining the universes together then? If you ask me, in fact, the entire alien part was entirely pointless. You could replace it with hostile alien race of other variety, and the story would be almost identical. I prefer the whole concept that the aliens were just some random predatory badasses that didn't exist in some weird situation with coexistence to humanity. Now there's some kind of intergalactic mega threat, and I just kind of I preferred random raptor monster.
No, I think having an origin to how they created is a good idea. I think one of the problems was there wasn't really enough actual xenomorphs. There was all these pre-xenomorphs throughout the film, which were really interesting, especially the penis vagina thing.
But I remember back on the original Alien when they first encounter the room with all the eggs, and it is everything's set up in a specific way, and there was a certain biomechanoid quality to everything, and that was when a lot of fan theories were going around saying that hi Tara. That's my
The
face.
High Terra.
That's my face, girl cat. They're saying that the space jockeys had created the Xenos as a sort of biological weapon. And that was, again, they never said that in the actual movie, but it was an interesting theory that I kind of liked, and I don't mind a idea of xenomorphs being an artificial creation. I liked it a lot better than what evidently either a novel or a comic, I'm not sure which, but there was one that said that the space jockeys, the reason they had so many of the eggs in Hi Tara. Ow, that's my nose.
This is going to be the best Jash Talks ever, just because now we have a cat. Now we can compete on the internet.
The one story someone had made that was technically officially licensed alien material, I think, was that the jockeys, the reason they had so many of the eggs is because it was a delicacy and they ate them. It was food, and then I remember people talking about this before Prometheus came out. I was like, we already know it's this and that, and someone responded to that statement with, "I certainly hope they don't use that angle because that is fucking stupid."
Oh, that what? Eating xenomorphs, like having like a rare
Eating the eggs, but
that
they're
would be
incredibly
awesome.
dangerous.
I would pay money to see a remake of Prometheus with that subplot. That's
So instead of the
reason.
engineers, they'd be the chefs.
Imagine that. It's like imagine at the end there's like a epilogue scene that kind of zooms in on a bunch of engineers like, what are they doing? What are they doing? What's about to be revealed? And it's just like Jamie Oliver, engineers with a hot chef on, like cooking up some xenomorph eggs. Right, and you make sure to put some pepper on at the end, right? And a bunch of people there like clapping. Yeah, good. I like that. Give me a taste of that. Ruined. Movie will be other movies already, but movie ruined even more.
Awesome, though. That would be awesomely ruined.
Tell you what, I do kind of want to taste some xenomorph eggs now.
See?
Kind of a thing now. God damn, I want some. Obviously, it's taste, but it's never going to be satisfied now. God damn it.
Well, I
God
think
damn
they
you,
used like
Decker.
ram intestine for the shot of the first facehugger coming out. So I'm pretty sure that xenomorph egg would probably taste something like haggis.
Oh God.
See, this is why you
realize I live next to the haggis
xenomorph
people, but this is not a good thing.
on the show. So we can. This is how
You successfully
xenomorph.
figured out what the fuck it tastes like. I was about to ask what you thought the mating rituals of these bastards were, but I just remembered it's the whole face thing.
You like the face thing, Omar.
What do we do with the face thing? After this, this thing bursting through the chest and shit. Or just popping out their heart. Like a giant stomach dildo.
And it all falls back to dildos.
Hey! The world appreciates a dildo joke, man.
That always confused me, though, why the xenomorphs tend to break through the rib cage. And wouldn't it be slightly easier for them to just kind of detour down a little bit and come out, soft belly?
Isn't like the xenomorphs all supposed to be this rape analogy? So bursting through the chest would be much more violent and have much more reaction.
You could just say, it's a
yeah.
horror movie, Decker. It's a horror movie.
No, but you defended shit with like canon and stuff, so I'm trying to. So I
I like to think that the reason they do it is because.
Hey, now, the
I think the reason they
goalposts
do it
are
is
mine. The goalposts are mine to move where I decree.
He is the master. But I think, I reckon that the reason they go through the stomach is because xenomorphs are inherently a warlike and horrifying and killy race. So the only ones that are allowed to be born are the tough ones that can break through a chest.
Ah.
Well, if there's like a miscarriage that like keeps on trying to burst through the chest, but he's like
Just
the little
dies.
weakling and fuck, I can do this.
Yeah, and he,
No,
and
I
he
can't.
just
Someone get a knife.
pretty much, and then the horse dies and he dies and that's it.
That would be awesome to see.
Yeah,
If
that's
only
it.
I could. If only like my time to write, I could probably write a fanfic in the viewpoint of the baby xenomorph.
Why you want to do that, I don't know, but
You've read my bread and jelly fic, right, Omar? You know I have no logic sometimes just because it's fun.
that's true. You definitely have no logic. I'm a little bit salty today.
Food.
Alright, do we want to the next
I'm
topic?
still stuck on the taste of
Next
xenomorph
topic.
eggs.
Xenomorph dildos. I mean, what part or parts had the most impact on you, good or bad? So this doesn't just mean the stuff that made you clap and cheer, but also the stuff that made you want to kill someone.
In Prometheus,
Yeah.
there was the amount I paid to go see it.
Thankfully, I had my dad pay for me and Brian's tickets to see an IMAX 3D, so I didn't actually spend any money to see it.
I saw it in 3D, not in IMAX, but I did see it in 3D, and there were some parts that I just was really confused, like, where is the depth?
I
I
just
mean,
care in 3D about shit flying at me. I don't.
there were some really nice looking 3D segments in Prometheus. The dust storm looked great in 3D. The room with the big super 3D map of glowy orbs and David playing with the balls of Earth and stuff like that. That looked really damn good in 3D. But
I have the Blu-ray of it, and I went through that part on the commentary and watching it without the commentary, and like I want to see this in 3D again on a big screen because that is really.
But then
Impressive.
there was the part distinctly remember one part when I was in the theater and I was taking the glasses off and putting them back on again, and I was like, where the hell's the 3D? When they had just entered the room with all of the jars of black goo, and everyone was getting ready to leave, and David was, it's kind of like, There's one part where he was looking, and I don't know if he was saying anything or it was just a shot of him standing there, and you pretty much only in this shot had David's face and the background, and this was a very damn large room, but there was like no discernible depth between him in the foreground and the background, and that was just putting me off. Like, what the hell happened to the 3D? Of course, there's worse 3D out there. I remember Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man. I saw that in 3D, and that movie was like completely 2D except for the action scenes. It was just, I was like, why the hell did I pay extra to see this in 3D? Nothing is 3D.
I have made a life decision after Man of Steel to never watch a movie in 3D again.
Yeah, there's
I just want to prefer 2D now.
movies that I think deserve 3D to actually be good, and one of them is the main one actually is Gravity. With Sandra Bullock.
Well, true. That's a movie that was made so that it would look arousing in 3D. And that's pretty much that was a great interest for them. Not all movies can be like, we're going to make this movie good, but also we're going to spend a lot of time making sure it looks good in 3D.
Yeah, it was. We can, if we can, like in maybe a future episode, we can review that film because that is just that was just like I can spend all day saying how great that was, and then damn it didn't win in all of the Oscars.
You can watch that's not. Is it a really beautiful sight? Because I felt it was kind of terrifying. You watch it and it looks good, and then every now and then, then the whole space fall thing starts happening, and you start thinking, I'd rather like it here and out. Nice old ground, not falling to my death. It's good.
And talking about being away from Earth.
What's Earth?
Exactly, so says the stoner who has never stoned.
The truth is revealed.
But, I remember one other thing in Prometheus. It was really interesting after I did a little more research on other things. Well, one thing to point out in Prometheus that just is like has my flaw nerve twitch is when they have the first-person views of all of the people going out and exploring, and they all have the little vital line, and every single one of them has the exact same signal, except David is a flat line. But an interesting thing I noticed when I went...
Wait, why does David still have one? He's a super expensive robot. Why the hell does he still have one?
Because
it's part of
normal.
It's part of the gear setup.
Yeah.
So, but
I feel like they'd edit his eyes or something so that he could see shit.
Well, when I went back to Aliens and I was re-reviewing that, one thing that I noticed was that in the tank, across all the monitors, they had everyone's vitals, and if you look, everyone has the same vitals. The thing is, their vitals are a lot more analog. They look a lot more like natural vital signs would, and you generally don't notice that they're all the exact same. But yeah, Aliens had that same issue as Prometheus. It's just it seems so much more pronounced in Prometheus.
Well, because in Prometheus, they were coming across very high-tech, very kind of philosophical, intellectual, that kind of movie, you know what I mean? And, you kind of expected them to see more of that, so you kind of expected that to stick out more. I didn't. Whereas an alien movie, you just, ooh, look at that tech. Then, holy shit, what is that? And like most of the time, you spend more of your time holy shitting than you do detailing the details until at least your second read through. Also, I think, by the way, that's another problem with Prometheus. I think it kind of wanted to be an intellectual, philosophical movie, but sold itself on the basis that it was an alien movie that definitely wasn't related to do aliens. And then when you watched it, it was neither really an alien movie nor properly a philosophical, intellectual movie because they fucked it all up. So it was kind of a in between with weird albino gorillas.
They weren't they didn't have a gorilla shape to them.
Look, man, if you shave a gorilla, I bet it'd be pretty damn close.
You share or shag? Which one did you say?
If you got a gorilla and you shaved it, and like you got that bastard on a treadmill and you like made it lose some weight, get a bit ripped, I bet it'd be an engineer.
No, the feet are different. The feet, whatever.
How do you know?
I've seen gorilla feet, you bastard.
Oh, really? You'd be googling gorilla feet all day? Damn.
Animorphs number 5 has a gorilla on the fucking cover.
That's how you know what a gorilla foot looks like?
That was like my first probably real glances at gorilla feet at like 9 or 10.
There was also Disney's Tarzan.
Yeah,
There's a ton of gorilla feet in that movie.
Oh god, all that sexy gorilla feet for all us fetishes. Hi, Mom! This is what I'm doing with my degree.
But I'm just thinking about things in Prometheus that really stood out to me. There was a lot when I did research that I was like, I was seeing certain concepts for how these scenes will play out, or those scenes will play out, or how this creature design is going to go, and I'm like, why the fuck didn't they do that?
It's a lot of good ideas. Also, I don't want to stick to the obvious flaws, but I got to stick to this too. Why didn't she run left? Or right? Or backwards, really? Back in any direction but forwards.
Oh god, when they're running away from the crashing ship, I find that a common problem in like every piece of fiction. I think of
like Indiana Jones as well.
Winter Soldier. Bucky's like the only person like in fiction that I can remember recently that knows just a step away instead of going forward. So
it doesn't
like
make
annoying,
sense.
But I've seen it so many times that it's just common.
I can at least assume she was like delirious or some shit, and maybe she didn't realize that she could perhaps run left or right or really any direction once again, but fucking forward. But still.
Well, also running backward probably wouldn't be a good idea.
Well,
Why
actually, if
not?
you think about it, she could probably end up getting out the corner.
She can die.
It's about as good as it is going forward, if you ask me. Because the shit ends quick then.
At least then you don't have to die tired, I guess.
Yeah.
Exactly. Nice and quick.
Oh god.
And if you let your legs go on the first, you'll have some pancakes. Meaty leg pancakes. We should never
Shut
get.
up, Hannibal. We don't need your cooking advice.
Then you shall be the cooked.
Good. So okay, my answer. My answer for what had the most impact on you. Unlike Vickers, it wasn't the ship that the engineers flew. That was a terrible joke. The 3D, like the one 3D scene of the dust storm was, as I said, I like when things come at me. That's when I go, okay, that's a good 3D movie. At least things are flying at me, and you're flinching without even realizing it. It's like nothing's going to actually hurt you, but you're like, okay. But it was really good. That was the best part of the 3D for me. Also, the vagina penis thing. That's exactly what it looks like. It's sort of penis shaped, but then it opens up to a flower like a vagina.
I don't know what like someone who has the unfortunate thing of being in between both man and woman looks like. But when I was a child, it's what I imagined that would look like. in a kind of an in-between, kind of a middle ground, a pagina or a cocoon. That's what I call it.
I remember
Those
leaving the
sound like
theater
really
and the
vulgar
penis vagina
Pokemon
being the
names.
one thing that was like on the tip of my tongue, like talking about. I want to just talk about it for hours. It's like, did you see that penis vagina?
I mean, you said you liked the movie, but it says a lot that that was the most notable thing for you. There was a penis vagina in there.
I've written such horrible smut that you're really surprised that a penis vagina caught my attention.
Well, the thing that really stuck in a lot of people's minds from the original Alien was, of course, the chest burster, which a lot of people.
It is just a giant penis erupting from someone's
I
chest.
remember the lady who played Lambert described it as this little penis with teeth.
Hey, I kind of want, you know that horror movie Teeth? I kind of want to see what happens if you mix that with aliens.
God. Oh.
Go on. Penis with teeth.
I'm just thinking.
Either that's going to be a romance movie or it's going to be a hell of a horror movie.
Well, someone's already did a film about a vagina with teeth.
Yeah, that's
I
teeth.
think Rev Resner was watching it, and we're talking over the phone, so I can't actually see the screen. And it was one of those hilarious things when he was reacting violently to whatever was happening, and I was just listening in.
I've seen that movie. It is actually called Just Teeth.
Yeah, it is.
It's really fucking horrifying. It's like, as you think, I don't know if for a lady it's horrifying, but for a guy it's like, well,
I'm not going
I'm
near
gay
vagina,
now.
then. I'm gay.
Yes, it's like I now prefer the penis because it won't eat my penis. Well, I want to keep that
For
intact.
the Alien sequel, when there's a penis with teeth.
Oh dear.
No genitalia is safe.
Guess I'm just gonna become asexual.
Yeah.
Gonna live in a hole that isn't a hole.
I would say I'm sorry for getting this episode about penis talk, but that's what the xenomorphs were shaped like. They were penises. They were a symbol of rape, but so we getting sexual here is normal, right, Decker?
I'm not part of this conversation.
Oh God! Last week, Creepy was on here, and he's said, I guess, something he thought would be a little inappropriate, and both me and Omar were like, there's been worse said, so here's the worst said.
Trust me, Jashi and me essentially are an endless fountain of you and good Jesus, man, that's not holy.
Yeah, we need Jesus. Okay, next topic.
We need 2 Jesuses. We need 3 Jesuses and a cherry pie.
Don't mention cherry pies, they can be popped. Okay,
Oh
next
God,
topic.
no! I'm not you, cherry pie woman! Oh no! I just wanted cherry pie. Why you gonna fuck up with cherry pie?
Terry, you want to come bite my nose again?
Okay, next topic. What do you think about the religious talk, including the engineers to humans and humans to machines like David?
Ridiculous.
Well, from my position, I'm an atheist, but I'm not.
I don't believe in God. I believe in sort of a spiritual anarchy, in short. But that's a topic for a whole another day. So continue.
Well, yeah, my whole thing is I feel, I do not personally believe. Holding out for, solid evidence, but at the same time, I am of the mindset that religion is so prevalent everywhere in the world and comes naturally in cultures separated entirely from any kind of communication with each other. So the concept of having religious beliefs seems to be an inherently human thing, and to try and quell that and weed that out of people seems like a completely pointless thing to do, and to what gain, I don't know. So I'm not exactly I'm not what you would call against religion. It's just not for me. But the thing with Prometheus seemed to be like they were they seemed like they were very much pro a specific kind of, it had this religious ideology to a lot of the decisions some made, but for some reason they really, really didn't hold to any of their ideas. So it was just really confusing for me because it's like, okay, we found the creators of human life who, according to my Judeo-Christian beliefs, is God with dust, but it turns out to be the shaved Bulgarian albinos. Shaved Bulgarian albino bodybuilders. And it's somehow not a conflict.
That's weird.
And it just that part just kind of gets me like, okay, is this even really a religious slant? Because it doesn't really fit. And they talk about religion in the movie, but they don't really follow through.
I think Shaw's whole thing is that's why I choose to believe, which I admit does get a little annoying, but does show her naivete. She thinks she's searching for one thing because she's believing so hard. And, yeah. She doesn't find what she expects.
I don't know. Here's the thing. The religious aspects for me, I didn't really glue to them much. I felt like it was just a traditional, like, oh, look, we're not created by God, therefore what are we? Type situation. I was just stuck on the fact that I didn't like the whole progenitor route again. I'm not sure how common it is in movies. I know it's very common in games nowadays. The whole something came before, what did it? Thing, and it's kind of again, really. I know whatever came before was slightly better done as an evil, and in the end got themselves killed by something that we're going to have to beat, which is the same in everything. But
I remember one thing that kind of annoyed me was when they did bring up evolution and pretty much just dismissed it out of hand.
That annoyed me. That annoyed me in all of them. Why do we evolve then?
The only thing they said about it was that the concept of it exists and is accepted. They didn't explain why it's accepted. The mountains of evidence.
It's bull. Basically, it's just like, yo, this exists.
Where we fit in the evolutionary tree, and how that does not match up with we came from the black goo selling.
I think the black goo originally, made at the beginning of the film, I think was created with a different purpose, so therefore it would have a different outcome. This was probably weaponized black goo, while the other was creating life and seeing what the heck happened.
He drank black goo and turned into
dust. I know, that's how, when it creates something, I guess that's how it works, but possibly in a sequel that could be explained, hopefully.
Yeah, then some people have been telling me that there's not going to be any Xenos in the sequel, and I'm like...
Yeah, I've heard, on the commentary, Ridley Scott said, I guess there's going to be a total of 3 Alien prequels, and then I was talking to my sort of boss for the Terminator fan site I write for, was talking about how I guess there's not supposed to be aliens in the second movie, which sort of sucks, I like my 60s Xenomorphs, I mean, what?
There originally was supposed to be 1, and then Prometheus came out, and they're like, actually, it's going to be 2. And now there's going to be 3.
It's fucking 3.
Can I just say, I always got the feeling, right, that this was actually a movie that Ridley Scott wanted to make that was not connected to aliens. And I thought maybe he didn't think that it was going to work, and he wanted to get some people watching it, basically, and just shoehorn the aliens in there. And I think that might make sense as to why the aliens are so underrepresented, and why it kind of doesn't make sense a lot of the time. If you take them out and kind of fill in the gaps with some other stuff that's more sensible, it makes sense. And that might also be why you're just ducking them out of the next movie. Because if you think about it, the aliens are really important to the plot. Kind of. So you can't really just remove them, really, can you?
No, you just really need to replace them with any other threat heading towards Earth.
Pretty much. So I think I don't think it was even meant to be any kind of alien movie. That's why it was not a pre-sequel or a prequel. It was just a
It's called like a prequel or not a prequel, depending on what day of the week it is.
The definition I use for a prequel is something in a specific movie's franchise that came out chronologically later in the franchise but takes place earlier in the timeline of the franchise. And by that definition, Prometheus
is a prequel.
Counts. So, I mean, there's the idea of, well, it's not a true prequel because of, it doesn't have this other thing, and I think that's trying to do a no true Scotsman fallacy, personally. My definition of a prequel doesn't say that it has to have certain aspects of the franchise that it's in other than being in that franchise. And
that's pretty much what it
Prometheus is in the Alien franchise. Whether or not it has xenomorphs, which is...
Well, it sort of has a xenomorph at the very end, which was cool.
The official name of it is Deacon?
Yeah, the Deacon. Yeah, they really...
Yeah, but in all fairness, he had about as much xenomorph as Buddy Guardians of the Galaxy had Howard the Duck.
Mm.
So we can't be calling Guardians of the Galaxy a Howard the Duck movie. So we can't be calling Prometheus an Alien movie.
Well, if you're talking about the post-credit scenes for Guardians of the Galaxy, Howard the Duck is actually a Marvel character, so...
Yeah, no, what I mean, though, is that if Guardians of the Galaxy isn't being called a Howard the Duck movie, or any way related, then why do we call a Prometheus in any way an Aliens movie? Because about as much Alien appears...
the engineers created the fucking xenomorphs!
It's in the timeline of the franchise. It is... canonically part of the franchise, came out later in the franchise, but takes place at the earliest point in the timeline, or at least earlier than other movies.
Yeah, and we're not counting the Alien versus Predators movies, because I enjoy them, but I just removed them from the being an actual Alien or Predator movie, and that makes it so much more enjoyable.
I absolutely cannot stand Requiem. I also absolutely cannot see Requiem, but that's...
I need to see a Requiem unedited because I've only catched on TV, but
to be fair, I don't think anyone in the world has ever actually seen Requiem.
It's true. I've seen it on
even
Netflix.
if you see Requiem, I don't think there's a good enough lighting to actually see it.
At least be looking in its direction, I guess.
Oh, God. Yeah. Okay, I guess now it's on to me. Oh, damn it. Okay. I, like, the recent time watching it this week for this podcast, I was sort of connecting David to the overall story with engineers. Like, David's, creators, the humans, constantly mistreat him. Like, and, like, the one guy was like, oh, we created you just because we could. In other words, they didn't care about his personal feelings. They didn't care about actually having an actual life for him. There was just, oh, we could, so life for us could be easier. And it made me think of the engineers didn't give a shit about us. They were like, oh, we're going to create life just because, oh, I made a bet on and I lost. And so I'm going to have to turn into dust today and create life on this planet. And then when David hates humanity, or at least really doesn't like his dad. Like, at one point he says, doesn't everyone want to kill their father? So I blame him for the screw-up at the end of the movie. He probably mistranslated or something to make the engineer attack. He's like, I can kill my dad now and no one will notice! And so maybe the reason the engineers were making this weapon of mass destruction was because their creations, like David, were, I guess, found out their creators didn't give a shit and were trying to rebel. So the engineers, in retaliation, designed a weapon, and the weapon malfunctioned somehow, or maybe one of their creations came to the planet and, caused chaos and then left. And we won't know until a sequel.
Damn it, I want to know. I'll tell you what, go on this. I do want to know what happened now.
the third, and then we'll know that we never got an answer.
Shut up!
Like I said, I think we got Huntington released. I really do want to know what happened. I am extremely curious. They have succeeded in making me want to know.
Yeah.
Even if it's bullshit.
Even if it's bullshit, I can write a nice fan fiction for you all, and
To pretend it wasn't.
this is how it really happened!
It's true. It's true. It's not real. Ignore the movie. There was no movie.
The truth is revealed, and it's a delicacy.
Oh.
The engineers were misnamed. They're actually the chefs. And they had like a rivalry between chefs, and so that's why the super weapons.
Fried xenomorph, barbecue xenomorph, chicken fried xenomorph.
Deep fried. Xenomorph pie.
Xenomorph sausage, xenomorph bits, xenomorph steak.
You made me hungry for xenomorph.
Well, I'm always hungry for xenomorph.
Xenomorph on the cob.
Xenomorph Benedict. Okay, anyone watching here who wants to draw artwork of like what xenomorph meals we mentioned or any you can think of, I'm going to provide a link in the description later. But for those of you who are watching without the link, go to jashikins.tumblr.com, click to submit, and submit your insane food drawings of whatever fuck we're talking about.
Oh boy.
I don't know. I've been doing this, I think, for the last 3 podcasts, and I'm just hoping that someone submits something. Because we talk about such demented shit. I need to see someone else's demented in here. Here you go.
You know what we should do?
What?
Plaster this on an art site and just be like, yo, make it happen. Eventually some guy will do it, and one day we'll have a giant alien xenomorph food thing with an albino gorilla with no shaving hair and stuff like that. It'll be amazing. It'll be amazing. And it will drive us all to insanity.
I think the hardest part about eating xenomorph has to be the fact that it gives you serious heartburn. You really need to take some antacids.
I take some antacids or whatever every day. I think I have acid reflux. I've been taking this pill 30 minutes before I eat every day. So.
Cut off? Oh, what happened there?
I don't fucking... We just realized the pain there might have been acid reflux, and it sort of helps. Well, I'm going to have to see if I got the refill for the muscle relaxer, because this muscle, like, tenses up and hurts at times. I have shit wrong with me, and we can't find an underlying problem yet.
Have you been face-hugged recently?
Listen, I have some kinks, and you don't need to know about them.
Yes, I do. Everyone does.
Okay, there was actually I don't know how, but I've had like 3 chest bursters within the week, so that might have been a problem.
Hey, Terra girl. What you doing?
Oh, okay, let's see what else. Okay, what would you hope for in a sequel, or do you not want to see a sequel to this?
I want a sequel, and I want an explanation for everything. I want the in-betweens filled.
I think that's the main thing that I'd want in the sequel is, number one, answers. Actual answers. Not just more questions, some answers. And also, of course, there's xenomorphs.
Xenomorphs would be awesome.
And part of the thing with xenomorphs, though, that was so fun with how scary they were was the mystery surrounding them. So trying to, detail out everything can screw with that.
Yeah.
Ambiguity is fun and scary. It provides something to talk about, and it also leaves the door open for a lot of things. But at the same time, the entire thing with Prometheus was supposed to be that it was going to answer the questions, and it did not, and it just brought up a whole bunch more.
It asked more
I
questions.
understand that's how some things in life go,
Yeah,
but
some fiction works good with, answering, but then giving more questions. It's just when you don't find the balance that it tends to annoy a lot of people.
Here's what I'd be okay with. I'd be okay with them answering the questions about the engineers and their lot. I think what they should do is they should make it so that the engineers created the Xenomorphs, but really don't know what they did. They got out of control, and somehow the Xenomorphs took on their own shape, became their own thing, and the engineers themselves did not understand the Xenomorphs. Therefore, the Xenomorphs stay being kind of ambiguous thing we don't know much about, and the engineers become understood.
they made them because they could.
Exactly. As I said, it relates back to David's subplot. I would suggest for the viewers watching to go back and rewatch and focus on the David subplot, the David storyline, because it really does seem to fill in some gaps. That might be said that, hey, all my crazy theories are correct come the sequels. And then I'll go, I should have bet money.
I really want to. I'm so. I try to figure out what could the explanation. I need to know.
Yeah, okay, before I go for the final topic, I will say that I would like to see where exactly the engineers came from. Why the hell they did what they did, because as Shaw's really confused, hey, you created us and now you want to destroy us? What the fuck's going on? So, yeah, answering the question what's happening with engineers would definitely please people.
It turns out that they were made by even larger, even whiter people.
The White Devils. Okay, final topic. Final topic. What would you rate this film? And since the past few ratings gone all haywire, we're going to be using my rating system just so we don't have all these weird rating systems like the last two times.
Oh.
I'm sorry, but it was really, really hectic, and I was really gritting my teeth. I did 2 tries to see if anything would improve, and no.
No. I like the fist rating system.
Well, fuck you. Okay, so, my rating system is out of 6. It goes 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.54, 4.55, and then straight to 6.
What?
It's vastly complicated.
It's just that I was before doing the regular 5 out of 5, but then I decided I was giving a lot of 5 out of 5, so I made the special 6 spot for, the really, really good shit.
Okay.
See, my personal rating system is just 1 through 5 and in integers, and there's a lot of things that fall under what those are, because I don't have any half numbers, any decimals, nothing. It's just 1 to 5. 1, 2, 3, 5.
I'm sorry, as I said, it got hectic the last 2 times, so I don't like any rating systems, just to let everyone know that's my least favorite part of reviewing.
I don't. I'll let you guys review. I'm probably just gonna be like, it was good or it was bad. In fact, no, I don't even rate it. I can say right now, it was terrible. I hated it.
Okay,
0 out of 10.
Okay, 0 out of 6. We're using the rating scale I made up. Just
0 out of whatever number it is.
Okay.
I would not say that low. I try to remain more objective when it comes to the numerical rating of a movie.
True.
Which is another reason why I use a rating system with so few numbers, because then I have less chance of being wrong. But I would say out of 6, probably a 3.5. Because to me, Prometheus, while it just didn't really... It wasn't what I wanted out of the movie, of course. and there was a lot of areas that I was really disappointed with. But on a technical level and on the acting, it did hold up. There were a lot of things to like about Prometheus, but there's also just simply as far as the plot goes and the character motivations, I still found more than enough flaws objectively with how the movie was put together. And I find it, all in all, comes out to be a very middle-of-the-road production.
I think I agree. I mean, I did overstate when I said 0. I don't think it was an awful movie. I just think it was a bit and I expected a lot more. I'm gonna have to. I liked it less than you did though, so 2 out of 6.
Okay, as I said, I hate the whole rating system, even the ones I use. So I rated this a 4.5 out of 6. I really enjoy it, and I'll watch it, again and again. But there are some flaws to it.
So
Yeah. Well, Mr. I really love the film. One of the things the engineers, as long as they're clearly explained in following sequels, the whole mystery angle on Prometheus will be more standable, because at least there will be good answers for it and everything will connect. And it does make you want to see sequels, even though you hate it. You're like, I want to know what happens.
yeah, it's kind of, I want to know the answer. But I'm not sure if that's because of Prometheus or just because it's aliens.
I got a girl cat.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's it for the review. Now we're going on the last parts of this podcast. So, Omar, do you have anything on your entertainment section you want to talk about?
I've replaced the entertainment section today with the trailer section. Now, I'm not sure if anyone's seen the trailer, but there's a trailer out for a movie called Ex Machina. It's only a teaser, 2 minutes long. It's really interesting. It appears to be about a man and a robo thing, an android, I believe, some kind of half-human-looking thing. I have really no idea what to make of it. It looks kind of like it's kind of hitting the philosophical, intellectual mark that Prometheus wanted to hit, and I'm looking forward to it. It kind of gives off kind of a Deus Ex type vibe. I kind of want to see this kind of man versus machine type situation, and they've not gone the whole boring machine looks exactly like a human thing. They've done the kind of a half thing where the human is there, you see the face, but you kind of see bits of robo bits and like arms and legs and exposed wiring and stuff like that. And I like that. It looks interesting. Visually it looks real good. And I really do want to give it a go. And I think you should too. I think anyone who hasn't seen it, hasn't heard it, should watch the trailer and read up about it, because it looks like it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, the guy who's written the movie, this is his first directorial debut, but in the past he has written movies like 28 Days Later.
That is true.
I have no idea about Ex Machina. I haven't seen anything about it. I haven't paid attention, but just based on your description, I have to say the title makes a lot more sense than Deus Ex, because, of course, it all comes from the phrase Deus Ex Machina, which is the god from the machine. So Deus Ex is the god from. Whereas Ex Machina is from the machine. Makes a lot more sense.
That's true. I never really realized that. So, Ex Machina not only looking like a good trailer, but making more sense too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole phrase Deus Ex Machina is sort of seemed to be used a lot of the time as sort of an easy way out of situations like, oh, our heroes are in danger. No, they're not, because magic.
But you know where the phrase originated from, right?
Yeah, it was from in plays.
They would literally have a god come down with a pulley and just fix all the problems, tie up all the loose, and just wheel them back up.
I was watching that. God damn it, God! It was getting good. Why do you have to go fix him? Look, his mother's back alive. She died. That was fun watching her die. It was an entertaining story segment. You just brought it back now. Pointless. God damn it, Zeus!
Okay, DeckerShado, do you have any announcements you'd like to make? Like your engagement to Creepy?
That's never happening. I'm just working on trying to get everything going with Gamerathon 3 still. It's still set for April, and there's so much, because October was a hell of a month. So not only was there Godzilla vs. Mothra month, so there was a lot that both me and Creepy were doing throughout the month, but I ended up getting sick for a week and a half, and all that time I thought I was going to have didn't come through. Because
I did see your releases that month. You did have, I mean, you may have gotten sick, but you did a lot.
Yeah, I still had to do everything, and the 2 reviews on the end of October, those were both like over 28 minutes. So I did practically an hour of reviews that week.
That's good, dude. That's good.
Yeah, but it took time away.
That's true. I would. I don't know. I don't know how much effort you put into editing, but I don't put much, and it takes me fucking
He
forever.
seems to put. I've watched a bunch of his reviews, marathon some of his videos recently, and he actually seems to put some good time and effort if, the final products are anything to go by.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because I don't put much effort into mine. It takes ages. So I think, how much you put into it? Good God.
It was crazy. The last review I did, Nature Unleashed Earthquake.
Oh, yeah,
I edited that in one day.
Holy shit!
I had to. I only had one day left to do it.
Fuck.
This is effort, ladies and gentlemen. This is effort right here.
This
No,
is
that
the
was
only one on this
caffeine and lots of
podcast
it.
right now that does anything resembling effort.
Pretty much. I just sit here and say shit.
But yeah, so any real big announcements for recently? Not really. This is my month of I'm trying to get everything back in order so I have time to do special things.
Ah, yes.
I've got all my reviews planned for this month except for one, and I'm trying to figure out exactly what it's going to be because I want to do something holiday themed.
Holiday.
Maybe I should say Christmas themed because I'm afraid of getting lynched for daring to use the word holiday.
Trust me, on here we don't give a shit. We talked about dildos. We're not naming.
But were they green and red and had little flashing lights and play Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer while you're using them?
Rudolph the red dildo vibrates on your nether regions. Cost you $29. Get it for your wife.
Okay. Never make anything, Omar.
I should. Every time it's bad. It's always bad.
I like that. I came up with the idea. Omar
took it too far.
And then Jashikins chastises Omar for coming up with it.
Listen,
Josh, he was his idea.
No, listen, Omar's like my co-host. I talk to him often and I abuse him. I want you back on the show again, so I can't abuse you, at least not your first time on the show.
I'm an abused child.
So, yeah, I've got plans for December, which is another reason why I chose not to do a big special for this month, because I just came off of a month-long special. And there's so many frickin' specials planned. I'm looking at things like, okay, am I going to have time before the end of the year to tackle this DVD box set I just got? And I'm thinking no, because I'd have to do back-to-back specials, and I really want to keep things a little more varied.
Okay.
Okay. It's just... Suddenly everyone stopped talking, and I'm like, well, I just killed the conversation.
After this podcast, send me a link to wherever you want me to link to for you, like your YouTube, your Patreon, or wherever.
Right.
She will link all the things. All the things will be linked. It's amazing. Like a chain link things.
What? I shame people? What?
No,
Like a
links,
chain link
links.
fence.
Links. Yeah, I do link to people. I just figure I can't pay you, so like the one or two people who view my videos, see the links and they click and they never come back. So.
Ah.
Good enough.
Okay, my short announcements, as I usually put these announcements written up the night before, but for some reason, like a few minutes before we started filming, I was like, oh shit, I didn't get them written down, so I was like, so on the good hand, they're really short from usual. First off, my most recent chapter of SNN is now on the site, now on my blog. Then, for Trey, who may or may not be listening, her Aileron 1 fic, I won't go into too much detail about that one, but that's been starting to be written up for her. I'm finally getting to that. And I do take one-shot smud requests. And finally, for the next episode of Zone 91, which will be a reread of number 2, The Visitor from the Anwar series, Keetor has agreed to be my temporary co-host. So, and for all of you who don't know who Keetor is, she's my co-host for With Extra Happy. Rudolph.
What?
Decker the red-nosed human had some very, very long hair.
Tara's looking at me now.
Okay.
Oh shit! It's gonna happen.
We have to wait till she attacks him. Okay, so, like some GIF on Tumblr showed this hula hoop that had sort of lasers spinning throughout it, and a cat, trying to attack it, getting confused where it died.
Oy.
But yeah. Okay, that would be it for this episode of Jash Talks. As always, if you have any questions to send to me about my blog, my whatever topic of the week next week is, you can send them to me, as well as topics for maybe future Jash Talks. And oh, I forgot, next episode will be the season 8 review of Doctor Who. It will be Jash Talks' first special as well as drunk episode. And Omar, of course, my co-host, will be there. Jim B and Keetor will all be drunk talking about the latest season of Doctor Who, except Jim B, who I've been making to be sure will be highly caffeinated.
Here's the thing. I came up with this drunk idea, and I'm really looking forward to Doctor Who. So I want everyone watching this to know, I'm going to lose my shit next episode. It's going to be insane. I've got so much to say. I've got so much to do. Frankly, we're not going to have time for dirty jokes because I'm going to have too much to say. I've got too much to do, too much to say, too much to reference, too much to talk about, too much to make fun of, too much to not make fun of, too much to squee about, too much to complain about, too much to like about, and too many jokes to make about the Doctor's grey hair and giant nose. So, it's going to be good.
In a minute.
Okay, and until next video, goodbye. And Decker, do you have any final words before I kill you?
Was Omar making fun of my gray hair and giant nose?
That was Peter Capaldi.
No, Peter Capaldi. The new Doctor Who, man. You got brown hair.
Yeah, but I got some grays coming in.
We can't see that. It's a poor resolution camera you have there.
Yeah, but yeah, it's the era of 4K coming soon, so I'm gonna suddenly one day just look older.
That's true. But no, it was Peter Capaldi. He has big hair. He has bigger nose than you, actually, now think about it. Man looks
How the hell is that possible?
I don't know, but it is.
Have you taken a look at this thing? Really?
It's still possible. Check it out. He kind of looks like an owl.
Goddamn.
Okay, Omar, say something really perverted so I can stop you in the middle.
Owl cock.